China's failed Arctic ambitions, the Cold Wall. China calls itself a near-Arctic power. The Arctic disagrees. This is the story of how Beijing tried to enter the top of the world and discovered that ice remembers who belongs. For China, the Arctic promised four things: shorter trade routes to Europe, energy and minerals beyond U.S. choke points, strategic positioning near missile paths, status as a true global power. In Beijing's imagination, the Arctic was an escape hatch, a way around the first island chain, Malacca Strait, and U.S. naval dominance. They called it the Polar Silk Road. China knew one thing clearly: it could not enter the Arctic with force. So it entered with infrastructure loans, mining investments, research stations, scientific cooperation, shipping partnerships. No flags, no fleets, just contracts. The strategy was simple. If you can't sail in as a navy, arrive as a banker. Greenland was China's biggest bet. China-backed firms moved to finance airports, invest in rare earth mining, fund infrastructure projects. On paper, it looked perfect. Then the United States intervened, quietly, decisively. Diplomatic pressure, alternative funding, security warnings to Denmark, strategic red lines drawn. Projects stalled, deals collapsed, Chinese firms were frozen out. Lesson learned: the Arctic is not neutral ground. China tried to legitimize itself through institutions. It sought influence in the Arctic Council, research partnerships, environmental frameworks. But the Arctic states all shared one unspoken rule: the Arctic belongs to those who live there or can defend it. China was granted observer status, which sounds important until you realize it means no vote, no veto, no real leverage. China could watch, not decide. Shut out by the West, China turned to Russia. At first, it looked promising: energy deals, icebreaker access, northern sea route cooperation. But the reality was brutal. Russia treats the Arctic as sovereign territory. Military bastion, strategic lifeline. China was allowed to invest, transport, assist, but never control. Russia sold access, but kept the keys. China's Arctic strategy failed for structural reasons: geography, military reality, political resistance. China has no Arctic coastline, no natural claims, no indigenous presence, no permanent Arctic bases, limited icebreaker fleet, zero control over polar choke points. Western coordination blocked entry. Arctic states unified unusually fast. China discovered something rare in geopolitics: a unified wall. China did not give up. It recalibrated. Now it focuses on Arctic science for legitimacy, commercial shipping trials, bilateral deals with Russia, long-term patience over expansion.